Hi guys, and welcome to Total Technik. Today we're looking at the Audi S4, both the B6 or the B7 models, and we're going to be looking at the 15-second rule. Let's do it. So what is the 15-second rule? Essentially the 15-second rule is a little kind of a little process that you can do to help prolong the life of the cam chains, which are a bit of an inherent issue on the B6 and B7 S4s. We've produced a full Audi S4 buyer's guide, so if you want more information on the cam chains, then please be sure to check that out. There's a link below this video. Scroll down and take a look at that. But this really will help prolong the life of those cam chains. As you'll already probably be aware, when you start the Audi S4 from a cold start, almost all Audi S4s have a cam chain rattle which should last 1 to 2 seconds. The reason for that is the cam chain tensioners are operated under oil pressure. So when you first cold start the Audi S4, there's not enough pressure inside the system, and so those chains are a little bit loose until those tensioners take hold, and so that's why you get that initial rattle on cold startup, which stops after 1 or 2 seconds as soon as that oil pressure has just built up that little bit. So doing this process, the little 15-second rule, can help bypass that problem. So what essentially happens when you cold start the S4 and the tensioners don't have enough pressure is that chain is got a little bit of slack in it, and it basically it's almost loose, so it kind of almost slaps around, and that's the kind of the sound of the rattle. And that effect is going to have a negative drawback, if you like, on the cam chain followers, which are made of plastic, and so they wear. And the cam chain followers tend to be the biggest issue in the S4. Not actually the cam chains, it's the followers, which are these little plastic guides. And so when that chain slaps around, you're going to be putting a little bit of wear on that guide. Yes, okay, doing it once or twice is not going to make any difference at all. But if you think, you get up for work, you start the car, it does it then, you leave the car till the end of the day to go home, you do it, does it again. That's twice a day. Multiply that by a year. That's hundreds of repeated times of those cam chain followers getting that little bit of additional wear that you really want to try and avoid. But it's easy to avoid it, so let's do it. So the process that we do is basically unlock the car as you normally would. Take your key, put it in your ignition, turn it to position 2. But don't start the car. So essentially what you're doing is you're putting that key in that ignition, putting it to position 2 and waiting 15 seconds. Now in practical terms, for example, what I'll do is I'll put that key in, I'll put it into position 2 before I get into the car, and as I've got memory seats, if I have to adjust the memory seats, I'll do that again before I get in the car. So by the time I've done all that and actually got into the car, put my seatbelt on or whatever, that 15 seconds has more than gone. So it's actually, in practical terms, quite easy to do, provided you put the key in, turn it, and then kind of get into the car, rather than get in, get yourself comfortable, turn it, and then have to sit there for 15 seconds twiddling your thumbs. So that's kind of the key to it, really. Open the door, put the key in, and then get yourself in, get yourself comfy, and 15 seconds will pass quite quickly if you do it that way. Now, one thing to bear in mind if you're going to use the 15-second rule is if you've got things like automatic headlights, and obviously you're starting in early in the morning or whatever when it's dark, you're going to be putting your headlights on for 15 plus seconds, which can be a drain on the battery. Likewise, if you when you last had your aircon or your heater on, if you had the fan up along quite high, then that'll come on as well. So those are two kind of things to bear in mind, because those will drain the battery quite quickly. You don't really want to leave those on for kind of 20 or 30 seconds unnecessarily, because if your battery's already low, that could be the difference between being able to start the car and not start the car. So 15-second rule, really you've got to ensure that you've got a good healthy battery in the car to be able to utilise it. But it does make a massive difference, and it really is well worth using. And of course, best of all, it's completely free. So once your key's in and you've waited at least 15 seconds, you can start it up, and you should find that cam chain rattle that you were experiencing before is either greatly diminished or possibly it's completely disappeared. So wish you all the best, and we'll see you on the next video.